everyone, this lesson is about textile and design development. Here are the objectives of our lesson. First, different types of textiles fabric. Second, the differences between principle and elements of design. And third is importance of textiles fabric on every fashion designer. Before we start to our discussion, please give me one sentence about the importance of textile and design development. Let's start to our lesson. First, we need to know what is textile and design development. Textile and design development is the creation of designs or patterns that appear on knitted, woven, and printed fabrics. It may sound simple, but textile design is a complex combination of artistic skill and modern technology. It includes creating textile structure, deciding what kinds of fibers a textile should be made of or what kinds of threads to weave together for a design effect. Have you ever noticed how some fabrics feel especially soft and luxurious when you wear them? It's not an accident, it's textile design. Textile designers experiment with color, fabric, and texture, and they follow style trends with an eye on what's coming next. Then they create ideas for fabrics accordingly. Designers tend to focus on one of two primary areas of textile design. Textiles used in interiors for home decorating purposes like upholstery on furniture, curtains, rugs, and carpets, and textile for clothing and other products. Next is about the different types of textiles fabric. In textile fabric, have 28 different types. First, canvas. Canvas is a plain weave fabric typically made out of heavy cotton yarn and to a lesser extent, linen yarn. Canvas fabric is known for being durable, sturdy, and heavy-duty. By blending cotton with synthetic fibers, canvas can become water-resistant or even waterproof, making it a great outdoor fabric. Next is cashmere. Cashmere is a type of wool fabric that is made from cashmere goats and pashmina goats. Cashmere is a natural fiber known for its extremely soft feel and great insulation. The fibers are very fine and delicate, feeling almost like a silk fabric to the touch. Cashmere is significantly warmer and lighter than sheep's wool. Often, cashmere is made into a wool blend and mixed with other types of wool, like merino, to give it added weight since cashmere fibers are very fine and thin. Third is chenille. Chenille is the name for both the type of yarn and the fabric that makes the soft material. The threads are purposely piled when creating the yarn, which resembles the fuzzy exterior of the caterpillar. Chenille is also a woven fabric that can be made from a variety of different fibers including cotton, silk, wool, and rayon. Next is chiffon. Chiffon is a lightweight, plain woven fabric with a slight shine. Chiffon has small puckers that make the fabric a little rough to the touch. These puckers are created through the use of S-twist and C-twist clip yarns, which are twisted counterclockwise and clockwise respectively. Clip yarns are also twisted much tighter than standard yarns. The yarns are then woven in a plain weave, which means a single weft thread alternates over and under a single warp thread. The sheer fabric can be woven from a variety of textiles types, both synthetic and natural, like silk, nylon, rayon, or polyester. Next is cotton. Cotton is a staple fiber, which means it is composed of different varying lengths of fibers. Cotton is made from the natural fibers of cotton plants. Cotton is primarily composed of cellulose, an insoluble organic compound crucial to plant structure, and this is a soft and fluffy material. The term cotton refers to the part of the cotton plant that grows in the boil, the encasing for the fluffy cotton fiber. Cotton is spun into yarn that is then woven to create a soft, durable fabric used for everyday garments like t-shirts and home items, such as bed sheets. Cotton prints and cotton solids are both available designs. Next is crepe. Crepe is a silk, wool, or synthetic fabric with a distinctive, wrinkled, and bumpy appearance. Crepe is usually a light to medium weight fabric. crepe fabric can be used to make clothes like dresses, suits, blouses, pants, and more. Crepe is also popular in home decor for items like curtains, window treatments, and pillows. Next is damask. Damask is a reversible jacquard pattern fabric, meaning that the pattern is woven into the fabric instead of printed on it. The fabric's design is created through the weave, which is a combination of two different weaving techniques. The design is woven using a satin weave, while the background is achieved through a plain twill or satin weave. Damask patterns can be either multicolored or single-colored. Damask can be made from a variety of different textiles, including silk, linen, cotton, wool, or synthetic fibers like rayon. Next is georgette. Georgette is a type of crepe fabric that is typically made from pure silk but can also be made from synthetic fibers like rayon, viscose, and polyester. Crepe georgette is woven using tightly twisted yarns, which create a slight crinkle effect on the surface. Georgette is sheer and lightweight and has a dull matte finish. Silk georgette is very similar to silk chiffon, which is also a type of crepe fabric. But georgette is not as sheer as chiffon because of the tighter weave. Georgette fabrics are sometimes sold in solid colors, but often georgette is printed in both colorful floral prints. Next is gingham. Gingham is a cotton fabric or sometimes a cotton blend fabric made with dyed yarn woven using a plain weave to form a check pattern. Gingham is usually a two-color pattern, and popular combination are red and white. Gingham or blue and white gingham. The check pattern can come in a variety of sizes. Gingham pattern is reversible in a first design on both sides. Gingham is a popular fabric due to its low cost and ease of production. Gingham is used frequently for button-down shirts, dresses, and tablecloths. Next is jersey. Jersey is a soft, stretchy knit fabric that was originally made from wool. Today, jersey is also made from cotton, cotton blends, and synthetic fibers. The right side of jersey knit fabric is smooth with a slight single rib knit, while the back side of jersey is piled with loops. The fabric is usually light to medium weight and is used for a variety of clothing and household items like sweatshirts or bed sheets. Next is lace. Lace is a delicate fabric made from yarn or thread, characterized by open weave design and patterns created through a variety of different methods. Lace fabric was originally made from silk and linen, but today cotton thread and synthetic fibers are both used. Lace is a decorative fabric used to accent and embellish clothing and home decor items. Lace is traditionally considered a luxury textile and it takes a lot of time and expertise to make. Next is leather. Leather is any fabric that is made from animal hides or skins, and different leathers result from different types of animals and different treatment techniques. While cowhide is the most popular animal skin used for leather, comprising about 65% of all leather produced, almost any animal can be made into leather, from crocodiles to pigs or stingrays. Leather is a durable, wrinkle-resistant fabric, and it can take on many different looks and feels based on the type of animal, grade, and treatment. Next is linen. Linen is an extremely strong, lightweight fabric from the flax plant. Linen is a common material used for towels, tablecloths, napkins, and bed sheets, and the terms linens still refers to these household items, though they are not always made out of linen fabric. The material is also used for the inner layer of jackets, hence the name lining. It's an incredibly absorbent and breathable fabric, which makes it ideal for summer clothing, as the lightweight qualities allow air to pass through and moderate the body temperature. Merino wool. Merino wool is a type of wool gathered from the coats of merino sheep. While traditional wool is notorious for being itchy, merino wool is one of the softest forms of wool and doesn't aggravate the skin. This is because of the small diameter of the fine merino fibers, which makes it more flexible and pliable, and therefore less itchy. Merino wool is considered a luxurious fiber and is used frequently for socks and outer clothing. Merino wool is known for being odor resistant, moisture wicking, and breathable. Next is modal. Modal fabric is a semi-synthetic fabric made from beech tree pulp that is used primarily for clothing, such as underwear and pajamas and household items, like bed sheets and towels. Modal is a form of rayon, another plant-based textile, though it is slightly more durable and flexible than rayon. Modal is often blended with other fibers like cotton and spandex for added strength. Modal is considered a luxurious textile thanks to both its soft feel and high cost, as it is more expensive than either cotton or viscose. Next is muslin. Muslin is a loosely woven cotton fabric. It's made using the plain weave technique, which means that a single weft yarn alternates over and under a single warp yarn. Muslin is known as the material used in fashion prototypes to test patterns before cutting and stitching the final product. Muslin is ideal for testing patterns as it's lightweight and gauzy, therefore it can be meat draped and fit well and is simple to sew in. Next is organza. Organza is a lightweight sheer plain woven fabric that was originally made from silk. The material can also be made from synthetic fibers, primarily polyester and nylon. Synthetic fabrics are slightly more durable, but the fabric is very delicate and prone to fray and tears. Organza is also characterized by very small holes throughout the fabric, which are the spaces between the warp and weft thread in the plain weave pattern. The quality of organza is defined as the number of holes per inch. More holes indicate better quality organza. Organza is extremely popular for wedding gowns and evening wear, as it is shimmery and translucent quality which create decadent silhouettes. Next is polyester. Polyester is a man-made synthetic fiber created from petrochemicals like coal and petroleum. Polyester fabric is characterized by its durable nature, however, it is not breathable and doesn't absorb liquids like sweat well. Polyester blends are also very popular, as the durable fiber can add strength to another fabric, while the other fabric makes polyester more breathable. Next is satin. Satin is also the three major textile weaves along plain weave and twill. The satin weave creates an elastic, shiny, soft fabric with a beautiful drape. Satin fabric is characterized by a soft, lustrous surface on one side, with a duller surface on the other side. This is a result of the satin weaving technique, and there are many variations on what defines a satin weave. Next is silk. Silk is a natural fiber produced by the silkworm, an insect, as a material for their nests and cocoons. Silk is known for its shine and softness as a material. It is an incredibly durable and strong material with a beautiful drape and sheen. Silk is used for formal attire, accessories, bedding, upholstery, and more. Next is spandex. Also known as lycra or elastane, spandex is a synthetic fiber characterized by its extreme elasticity. Spandex is blended with several types of fibers to add stretch and is used for everything from jeans to athleisure to hosiery. Next is suede. Suede is a type of leather made from the underside of the animal's skin, giving it a soft surface. Suede is usually made from lamb skin, but it is also made from other types of animals, including goats, pigs, calves, and deer. Suede is softer, thinner, and not as strong as full-grain traditional leather. However, suede is very durable, and true to its nature, is pliable and can be molded and crafted easily. Suede is used for footwear, jackets, and accessories like belts and bags. Next is taffeta. Taffeta is a crisp, plain woven fabric made most often from silk, but it can also be woven with polyester, nylon, acetate, or other synthetic fibers. Taffeta fabric typically has a lustrous, shiny appearance. Taffeta can vary in weight from light to medium and in levels of sheerness depending on the type of fiber used and the tightness of the weave. Tapeta is a popular lining fabric as the material is decorative and soft, and it is also used for evening wear and home decor. Next is tulle. Tulle de joie, or simply tulle, was a specific type of linen, printed with romantic pastoral patterns in a single color, usually black, blue, or red, on an unbleached fabric. Although the word tulle means fabric in French, the word tulle has evolved to also refer to the original design aesthetic of the fabric, which gained popularity in France in the 1700s. Tulle designs are popular for non-fabric items like wallpaper and fine china. Tulle fabric is used for clothing, upholstery, window treatments, and bedding. Next is tweed. Tweed is a rough, woven fabric usually made from wool. The fibers can be woven using a plain weave or twill weaves. It is an extremely warm, hard, wearing fabric that is thick and stiff. Wool tweed is often woven using different colored threads to achieve dynamic patterns in colors, frequently with small squares and vertical lines. Tweed is very popular for suiting and jackets, which were originally made out of the material for hunting activities. Next is twill. Twill is one of the three major types of textile weaves, along with satin and plain weaves. The distinguishing characteristic of the twill weave is a diagonal rib pattern. Twill weaves have a distinct, often darker colored front side, called the wale, with a lighter back. Twill has high thread count, which means that the fabric is opaque, thick, and durable. Twill fabrics are rarely printed on, though multiple colored yarns can be used to achieve designs like tweed and houndstooth. The fabric is durable with a beautiful drape, and it is used for denim, chinos, upholstery, and bed linens. Next is velvet. Velvet is a soft, luxurious fabric that is characterized by a dense pile of evenly cut fibers that have a smooth nap. Velvet has a beautiful drape and a unique soft and shiny appearance due to the characteristic of the short pile fibers. Velvet fabric is popular for evening wear and dresses for special occasions, as the fabric was initially made from silk. Cotton, linen, wool, mohair, and synthetic fibers can also be used to make velvet, making velvet less expensive and incorporated into daily wear clothes. Velvet is also a fixture of home decor where it's used to upholster fabric, curtains, pillows, and more. And last is viscose. Viscose is a semi-synthetic type of rayon fabric made from wood pulp that is used as a silk substitute, as it has a similar drape and smooth feel to the luxury material. It is a silk-like fabric and is appealing because it is much cheaper to produce. Viscose is a versatile fabric used for clothing items such as blouses, dresses, and jackets, and around the home, in carpets and upholstery. Now, let's talk about the differences between principle and elements of design. First is principle of design development. The principles of designs are applicable to all design disciplines, including but not exclusive to architecture, art, graphics, fashion, industrial design, poetry, writing, and web design. Design differs from art in that it has to have a purpose. Visually, this functionality is interpreted by making sure an image has a center of attention, a point of focus. Classic and digital designers alike harness the principle of design to shape their work, building on top of the elements of design to give cohesion to their pieces. When used successfully, these principles have the ability to transform designs both aesthetically and in terms of performance. Have a 7 types in principle of design. 1. Emphasis. Like writing without an outline or building without a blueprint. If you start your composition without a clear idea of what you're trying to communicate, your design will not succeed. Number 2. Balance and alignment. Symmetrical design creates balance through equally weighted elements aligned on either side of a centered line. On the other hand, a symmetrical design uses opposite weights. like contrasting one large element with several smaller elements, to create a composition that is not even but still has equilibrium. Third is contrast. Contrast is what people mean when they say a design pops, it comes away from the page and sticks in your memory. Contrast creates space and difference between elements in your design. Your background needs to be significantly different from the color of your elements so they work harmoniously together and are readable. Fourth is repetition. Repetition can be important beyond one printed product. Current packaging design is heavily embracing beautiful illustrated patterns. Anyone thinking about a startup knows one of the first things you need is a strong logo to feature on your website's business cards, social media, and more. Fifth is proportion. Proportion is the visual size and weight of elements in a composition and how they relate to each other. It often helps to approach your design in sections instead of as a whole. Six is movement. Movement is controlling the elements in a composition so that the eye is led to move from one to the next and the information is properly communicated to your audience. And last is white space. White space is exactly that, the empty page and around the elements in your composition. For beginning designers, it can be very loose, so often simply giving a composition more room to breathe can upgrade it from mediocre to successful. And let's talk about the elements of design. The elements of design create every object around us. Nothing can exist without these ingredients. The discipline of learning the power of these elements and formatting them within the principles of design is the responsibility of the designer. In elements of design have color. Color, typically known as hue. This word represents a specific color or light wavelength found in the color spectrum, ranging circularly from red to yellow, green, blue, and back to red. Next is line. As a geometric conception, a line is a point in motion with only one dimension, length. Line has both a position and direction in space. The variables of line are size, shape, position, direction, number, interval, and density. Points create lines, creates shapes or planes and volumes. Next is mass. Mass is interchangeable with volume. A mass is a solid body or a grouping of visual elements, line, color, texture, etc., that compose a solid form. Volume is a three-dimensional form comprising length, width, and depth. Three-dimensional forms contains points, vertices, lines, edges, and plane surfaces. A mass is the two-dimensional appearance of a three-dimensional form. Movement, also known as motion. This element portrays the act or process of changing place or direction, orientation, and or position through the visual illustration of starting or stopping points, blurring of action, etc. This is not animation, although animation is an end product of movement as well as other elements of design. Next is space, a two or three-dimensional element defined by other elements of design. Next is texture, a technique used in two-dimensional design to replicate three-dimensional surfaces through various drawing and media techniques on three-dimensional surfaces. It is experienced by touch or by visual experience. Next, type, also known as typography, and it is considered an element in graphic design, although it consists of elements of design. It is in itself often an element in the form of visual communication. And last type is value, another word for the lightness or darkness of an area. Brightness measured in relationship to a graded scale from white to black. And the last for our lesson is about importance of textiles fabric on every fashion designer. And here the video about the importance of textiles fabric on every fashion designer.
The knowledge of textiles and fabrics is very important for any fashion designer. It's like a raw material for any designer. Without the knowledge of fabrics and textiles, he cannot design anything. He needs to know the fibers, he needs to know the drapability, the elasticity of the fabrics, the properties basically. If he knows everything, he can design a better piece of garment. In the fashion programs at Whistling Woods, we teach them the practical part. That is, we teach them how to identify textiles, how to identify the fibers, how to understand the properties and characteristics of fibers. They learn to know about the advantages and disadvantages of different fabrics. They learn to know about the drapability of the fabrics, which makes them very easy to work with all types of fabrics. This is the practical part. Plus they also do illustration, they watch movies, they have a lot of influence from other design, which can also be used for illustrating their own designs.
That's all. Thank you for listening.